Hey, what's up everybody? I know that this video is not going to speak to everybody because not everybody is doing the big lifts like squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press. Not everybody's there yet, although my goal is to get all of you there eventually because of the benefits that come from it. But one thing that I want to mention here is if you are doing those things, a lot of times it can become kind of overwhelming when you start looking up guides and things like that. Let's just take the squat for instance. It can become overwhelming when you're trying to figure out how to squat and you realize that there's definitely a form that's correct and then there's like a billion forms that are not correct, and it can feel overwhelming when you start thinking, oh man, I need to focus on while I'm doing a squat, I need to focus on like having my back right, I need to focus on like forcing my knees out, having my feet planted, having them at the right angle, and you start thinking about all these different things that go into just a squat. And it can become overwhelming, and as a result you're trying to focus on so many things that you kind of get to a place where you're not really improving anything because you're trying to do them all. Your form might even get worse. So what I suggest you do, and this is what I like to do with clients that I'm coaching, what I'll do is I'll send them a guide and just say this is the way to do it, or like if if I'm working with them, then they're in my coaching app and there's videos in there and they're able to look at that video. So what I like to do is just tell them this is how you do it and send them a video and have them do it with lightweight and send me that video. And so what I can do is everybody's is different, right? So some people get super close on the squat right off just naturally. Other people, and that same person might not do well on a bench press at all. Other people, their form might be atrocious to begin with, and it's all, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And so when it comes in, when I get that video, I look at it, and with each person individually I can kind of say, okay, here is what you need to correct in your squat, and I will give them, unless there's like two or more like huge pressing things that I know they're going to hurt themselves, which typically is not the case. If there's like a little thing here and there that I want to see them, tighten up and really improve their squat form, not just because I don't want them to get injured, which that's a big part of it, but also because their squat's going to get better, when they're able to improve their form. So I'm going to give them, I'm going to have them do one video to begin with. I'm going to evaluate it, and then I'm going to give them one thing to focus on to improve, and I'm going to give them some cues to say like this, focus on this, and just say something that kind of triggers that in their mind of how to think about that. So that is the way that I recommend going about it. Watch a couple of videos, watch somebody else do it. If you got somebody to show you, whatever, do that. Video yourself, go back and look at it yourself and send it to somebody. You can send it to me if you want, and have your form evaluated so you can get like a quick feedback on like kind of the most pressing things that you need to focus on. That's my advice on how to not get overwhelmed by all of the info out there about any given lift.